Again, the Ron's opinion don't matter. Excuse me. Um, if you haven't noticed, the title of this video is why should you conceal carry? Of course, this is a subject that if anybody knows me, been on my lives before, they know that it's a big. This is one that I'm adamant about because I believe in keeping. I believe in our Second Amendment, and I believe we should have the right to keep and bear arms. And I believe personally that the government, no on the federal level, state level, city level, any level, should have any say so, and rather you can keep and conceal carry. I don't think they should have any parts of them. It's none of their business what you have and what you don't have. That's my personal opinion on it, and I'm gonna stick to that. I don't think they should be, you know, historically, the government have never shown themselves to be um responsible. So if they haven't shown themselves to be responsible, why should we trust them to give us advice of what we can and cannot have? That's the truth of the matter. So that's why I wanted to get back to this conversation of the right to keep and bear arms. Um, which in my belief, wholeheartedly, is should not be up for debate. And even if you look at it from a local level, like just every day going about your business, um, minding your business, everyday life. Criminals, again, do not care about laws. They don't care about public safety, none of that stuff. So imagine a politician, any of them for that matter, just sitting there saying, well, we should have tough gun laws. Now we're gonna get into this tough gun law. We should have tough gun laws. We should not. Everybody shouldn't have a right to keep and bear arms. We should have tough gun laws. How does that affect criminals? It doesn't. It don't affect them one way or the other. I mean, they don't care. It has no effect. Tough gun laws have zero effect on criminals. Zero. It doesn't stop crime. It doesn't reduce crime. It doesn't do anything of that nature. But yet they will continuously, consistently try to push the narrative of we need to have tougher gun laws. But again, it's been proven that tough gun laws don't work. And I use the city of Philadelphia and Chicago as prime example of why tough gun laws, don't work. And then you could throw California in the mix of that too. New York, kind of too. So these cities, which are ran by Democrats, again, they have no clue when it comes to guns and the right to keep and bear arms, and they're trying to tell you what you can and cannot have. It doesn't work that way. And I always emphasize this with a lot of people because this is things that even myself had to really, you know, get my head around this because it's like, okay, let's look at it from a slavery perspective. Let's say government decides, you know what, we want to implement slavery now. We want to implement slavery. Like we want to bring back slavery right now. We want to go round up people in America and we want to force them into hard slave labor. What will stop them? Right now, what will stop them? The only thing that will stop them or even make them hesitant is the fact that the American citizens have plenty of weapons to organize, form a militia, and to defend themselves against the very government that say that they're here to serve you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why our Constitution was written the way it was written, is to make sure that the government was under a threat of your behind can be killed, taken shot, or whatever the case may be, if you try to become tyrannical. And we have already shown, this government has already shown that they can be tyrannical. They can. They can. But even outside of that, your everyday life, every day you walk in the streets, you're all about business, driving your car, whatever. How many times have you seen people and videos getting carjacked. I guarantee you that most of these people that have guns, I mean, these criminals that's doing these carjackings, yes, it is. You're absolutely right, Joyce. It is. It is not for hunting. It's not that. That's just a byproduct of the Second Amendment. I'm telling you, and you see all these criminals, right? And they carjacking people, and they robbing people, and they going in these stores, and they causing all of this damage and then all of this destruction. Why wouldn't you not tell your citizens to bear up and make sure you have some type of protection? It doesn't even make sense. But you still have a lot of these politicians will still turn around and try to say, well, you know what? You don't need a gun to protect yourself. What? So who's going to protect me? You? And these are the very same people that got armed security around them. But they're telling you, you don't need one. And this is why I look at, when you look at, that's why they say guns are political. Because when you look at the Second Amendment and you look at what these politicians have done to this country in the last 4 years, I keep emphasizing on the fact that you need to keep and bear arms. If not any time in your life, it's probably more so now, because we have a lot over here that should not be here. In this last 4 years, they have let everything in this country. Yes, America has its own criminals. We do. But why should we have to deal with our criminals and deal with Venezuela's criminals and all these other country criminals too? We shouldn't have to. But here we are. And that's why I tell people, yes, you're right. They need to self-protect. You're absolutely right. And my thing is this: you can't stop criminal behavior because you don't know when it's coming. You do not know when criminal behavior is going to come. Sometimes you can sense it, you can see it about to happen, and you might be able to respond before it happens. But think about it like this. Even in the Bible, right? Jesus said, behold, I come like a thief in the night. What did that tell you? He says, I come like a thief in the night. When he comes back, he's coming like a thief in the night. That's because you're not going to know when they're coming. So even the Bible make references to, you're not going to know when a thief having bad intentions. Now, he's not coming like that, but he's just making references to it. But you understand my point. My point is, you need to protect yourself at all times. And I more so say this to women because a lot of, there's a lot of narrative out here that, oh, women can do this and women can fight men and women can, listen, a regular woman that wants to be a woman and love being a woman is not out there trying to figure out whether she could beat a man or not. Why would she even waste her time with that? That is so off the wall crazy. It don't even make sense. Most women be like, no, I'm not. First of all, I'm not even going to entertain the thought of I can beat a man. What I should do as a woman is make sure I know how to use this weapon so that the man never get a chance to put his hands on me if that situation ever to arise. The gun can be, in most cases, will be the equalizer. That will give a woman a fighting chance if she have a chance to be able to get that firearm in her up and ready to defend herself if that was to come about. But without that gun, she left subject to that too. More so. That's why I tell, the women in my life, between my children, my daughter and my mother and everybody, all the females in my life, I say the same thing. Learn how to use it. And some of them I have taught. I mean, a little bit, but if they ever ask me and say they want to, anytime they ask me and they want to learn more, they're going to learn more. And I will spend the time and take the time out to do it. Why? Because I know it's more essential for them than it is for men, because men can usually defend themselves against other men in a lot of cases. But here's the other narrative. What's up, Word Up? How you doing? And here's the other narrative as it relates to being able to keep and bear arm your weapon. All right. So they'll say, like states like New Jersey, limiting how many rounds you should have in your clip. And this is where, and I'm not 100% on that, but I think New Jersey is one of the states that limits how much, try to limit how much you can have in your gun, like rounds wise, which is in itself crazy. And so I just don't understand their logic. But again, they love criminals, so they're going to try to write laws that's going to benefit criminals. They're not going to write laws to make sure that citizens have the right to protect themselves in any case. What they're going to do is they're going to keep writing laws and rules to help criminals to become more criminal minded. You're right. It's not their business. It really isn't. That's why I really don't care what they say. But they're going to write laws because they're criminals. They're going to write laws that's going to help criminals to become more criminal. So, what's up? What's up? Unknown opinion. I think that's what it said. But anyway, so that's why I'm like, I don't, for me personally, I don't think anyone should be limited on how many rounds you should have in your clip. I think that is retardedly crazy to even think that you should, we need to limit how many rounds you have in your gun. Why? Why would you want, listen, I am an everyday citizen. Most 99% of everyday citizen gun owners are not out here trying to hurt somebody with their firearm. They're not out here doing that. So why are you writing laws to stop them from protecting themselves? And my thing is this, and this is the scenario that they never talk about as it relates to your firearm, and then you in a situation, let's say, God forbid, you at a gas station. And I always point out this scenario to people. And they tell you, and you in a state like, let's say New Jersey, if I'm right about this, and I think they limited how many they can have in their clip, but I'm not 100 on it, but let's just say they are. And you only limit to have 10 rounds in yours. Now, 3 guys walk up, they got all AR-15s, and they got clips in there, and they each one of their clips, let's just say they got 30-round clips. Now, you got 6 to 10 in yours. Let's say 10. I'm going to give you 10. It's 3 of them. They got 30 rounds in each one of their clips. Now, you got to wait for them to get 60 rounds off before you can, you got 60 rounds against your 10. Because they're not going to care how many clips how many rounds you can have. They're going to go get what they're going to get. They're going to find the ways to get it. You can't stop criminals. That's why everything that these politicians say when they say stuff like that, I just look, I think they don't know what they're talking about. And a lot of times, if you ask these politicians anything about guns, usually they're clueless. They keep calling ARs assault rifles. And to people that have guns and firearms, they just look at them like they don't know what they're talking about. They think they know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. But we just let them talk their talk that they talking, and they really don't have a clue what that means. But it is what it is. Now these people got 60 rounds to your 10 because you listened and followed the law of the state and said you can only have 10 rounds in your firearm. Now, hopefully you're a wonderful shot. Hopefully you don't, you're really good at it and possibly get out of that situation. But that's why you don't. That's why the lawmakers should not even be participating in this. Yes, you're right. They are. It's the Democratic Party is the ones that's always trying to push that bull crap. The Democratic Party is always the one trying to limit what you can have, how you can have it, and what they because they believe in tyranny. They believe they want to be tyrannical. They want to be kings and rulers over your life. That's why I tell everybody I know, never vote for Democrats. When you see that mentality, when they start talking about gun control and limiting this and limiting that and anti-gun and all that stuff, I tell people don't vote for them because they are tyrannical. That's your sign right there. You don't have to figure nothing else out about it. The minute they start talking about gun control, controlling firearms, you shouldn't have this as it relates to your right to keep and bear arms, don't vote for them. I don't even care if they're Republican. I do not care. That is your number one sign when you look at a politician. If you ask them anything about gun control or anything of that, and their response come in that type of way, you don't get no vote. Don't vote for them. Because now they're trying to be your ruler and your king. But if they say to you, no, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Let the citizens decide what they want and don't want to have. They should have access to everything. But what I do want to do is if we got criminals out there and they do bad stuff with the guns, we're going to put they behind the way and we're going to make sure they stay. That way the everyday citizens can walk about and don't have to be worrying about these criminals that's out here to do something. And every time I turn around and I see this type of craziness, it just does not make sense to me. But when you talk to people like they don't have a clue about what the Second Amendment is about, and don't have a clue, like kind of like how Joyce was just saying on his live, they keep saying, "Oh, it has nothing to do with hunting. It has nothing to do with none of that. That's just a byproduct of it. That's another pleasure that comes out of owning a gun. You be able to go hunt and stuff. And but here's the thing: if you had to really actually go out there and hunt for your food, you'd be glad you had a gun. So let's say we get in a situation where you actually had to go back to hunting for your own food. Are you going to let the government say what you cannot have to hunt with? It just does not make sense. That's why you have to always push against these politicians that come off like that, because that's your sign that they're tyrannical. You don't have to wait for them to do something tyrannical. The minute they start talking about gun control, they're tyrannical. Just label them tyrannical until they get their mind together, because they don't have no right to tell you what you keep and can bear on. All these, we want to write these laws and stuff. No, stay out of the way. Leave it alone. It's none of your business. That's the truth of the matter. It is zero your business, government, of what any citizens in the United States of America have as it relates to firearms. It's none of your business. Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the fact that Trump is talking about making it universal as far as your concealed carry. And universal, meaning you should be able to travel from whatever state you're traveling and not have to worry about, I violated a law because I carried my firearm with me. No. You should be able to. Every single state, any city, any town, wherever, it should be universal. Wherever state you live in, when you get your concealed carry license, you should be able to roll. Shouldn't be worrying about what state can, what state can't. None of that. We shouldn't even be in that conversation. And these government officials should not be they should not even be entertaining the conversation. Yes, you're right, Chris. We're trying to limit our rounds. And you should not be in that conversation. Stay out of it. You have no right to it. Stop trying to control people's right to keep and bear arms. It's none of your business. Yes, yes, yes. That is a strong statement. Black people should fight more about their rights. I am 100% agreement with that, because I'm going to tell you something. Being somebody from the city of Philadelphia, and when I've heard many times, you can't. Now, don't get me wrong. You get your concealed carry license in Philadelphia, and it's not really that complicated. But here's the thing. If you get into any little thing as it relates to a firearm in the city of Philadelphia, they will drag that crap out to make sure you never get that gun back. The city of Philadelphia, I've never seen nobody steal so many guns in my life like the city of Philadelphia. And guess who's stealing it? The law enforcement. They're the ones stealing the guns. Because I'm going to tell you what they do. Let's say you get into a situation and they ask you to turn in your firearm, whatever case may be. You will never, ever, 90%, 92%. Okay, you're right. 92% of the black women voted for Kamala Harris, and I guess they don't carry guns. Probably don't. Oh, they probably do. But they're not thinking this way. I don't know. They probably do or they probably don't, but they're not thinking this way. But here's back to what I was saying about the city of Philadelphia. They will ask the person to turn their gun in, right? And then they will drag it out to make sure you never get your gun back. And you didn't really break no law. You're not a felon and none of that stuff. They will trying to extort you out of your gun some type of legal way. And what they do is they drag it out so long and hope that you forget about that gun. And then you end up having to go out and buy another gun, but you never got your gun that they originally got from you back. And I know this 100% because I know people personally that they've done this to. So it's not like I'm assuming this is what happened. I know personally. So that's why when people that I know personally, they go, I'm like, no, don't turn your firearm into them. No, because what they're trying to do is extort you out of your firearm. They're going to drag it out so long that you're never going to get your gun back. What's up, Mike, in the building? How you doing? Appreciate you coming in, bro. I hope all is well. Hope all is well. And they will never allow you to get your gun back. And I'm not talking this off the top of my head. I know cases, more than one, where they dragged it out so long to try to make sure that this person did not get their gun back. Do me a favor, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate it very, very much. Yes. Yes, you're right. But I'm going to tell you something. And what happened was when I tried to tell them, by the time I got the information, they had already turned their firearm in. And I was just like, oh, I wish you'd have told me before you did that. Because when they told me the story of why they asked them to turn it in, it was no reason for them to turn their gun in. Zero. They didn't commit no crime. They didn't do anything. Somebody said something that they might have had a gun, and then they asked them to bring their gun, and they did. Right. You're right. You're right. And my thing is this. Now you stuck without your firearm, and then you trying to chase them down to try to get your firearm, and they say, oh, well, we don't know. You got to talk. They haven't actually released it yet. They tell you all of these dumb behind things that don't even make sense. And then you never get your firearm back. And what they want you to do is they want to keep your firearm, and then you have to go out and buy another firearm. And the next thing you know, because it's been so long, they say, okay, now they're trying to like rebuild. And the next thing I guarantee you that what they're doing is they taking the guns themselves. Now they got a collection of firearms, but you don't have none. Now you can't even get your firearm back. And I've watched them do this more than once. That's why I tell people, do not. Go, you want my gun, go get a court order, and then go get a warrant, and then you come get it. And you better have probable cause. I don't trust, and listen what I'm trying to tell you. The ones in the city of Philadelphia got the same skin color as me. That's why I do not, and that's why identity politics is a problem in the United States of America, and we need to get away from it, and we need to look at the character of a person. And when I look at a character of a person as it relates to politicians, the minute they start talking about gun control, that tell me I don't want to know, you don't get my vote. I'm sorry, you don't get my vote. And I told people that many a time. I said, if Trump was to come around off, and if, you know, everybody know if you on this channel, I voted for Trump and I supported Trump. But if Trump ever was to come off and say, oh, we need more gun control, yeah, I'll be on here right now, deleting my videos, deleting everything, and he'd be my enemy. Because I'm not for that. Because I know how important that is. And people like Joe Biden, that's another reason why he would have never gotten my vote. Because he was so proud of the fact that he banned assault weapons, and he just kept emphasizing that. Meanwhile, nothing ever changed from that ban. It didn't save not one life. But he did it. He was proud of it. That's why he would have never got my vote. And I see all of these black people and white people, American citizens, that don't even understand what's going on, and they voted for this. You voting against yourself. Because when something happens to you, they're not coming to protect you. They're not coming to look out, make sure you good. They're not even, listen, let your neighborhood, let the black community go to get destroyed, and guarantee you that they'll be extremely hesitant about sending anybody in to save your city, to save your neighborhood, and to save your community. But they told you to hate Trump, who actually did it. When they was tearing up Black Lives Matter, Trump got the National Guard and sent them into the cities to try to save these jobs as much as possible, to protect the citizens' jobs, because they knew at some point when all this calms down, you got to go back to work. And guess what they use to protect them? Guns. Because a threat of a gun will stop a whole lot. It will stop a whole lot. And then you look at all of the crime in these cities, you look at all the crime and everything that's happening, never once did these people tell you the truth when it comes to that. The city of Philadelphia is a prime example of that. The reason why the city of Philadelphia and Chicago have such a crime problem is because they don't encourage their people to keep and bear arms. Now, if I was the mayor of the city of Philadelphia, a lot of people would hate my guts. I'm dead serious. They would hate my guts. If I was running for the city of mayor, and I'm as city of mayor, and this is, believe me when I tell you, what I'm about to say is extremely controversial, but it's the right thing to do. And as soon as I become mayor, the first thing I'm going to tell all of the business owners in there Go get a gun. Make sure you got one in your store. They come in there and they come in and steal them, shoot them. They come in there to come in your store and they with bad intentions, shoot them. And you have the mayor's 100% support. As long as you're doing it right, that will protect your business and make sure you don't have to deal with no jail time or anything of that nature, because we're sick of criminals. We're not going to no longer put our legal, law-abiding citizens at the mercy of criminals. So therefore, this is what we're going to do. And we are putting every criminal in the city of Philadelphia on alert. If you want to go in the store and you think it's okay to steal, and you think it's okay to rob, and you think it's okay to do this, now you not only have to deal with the police, you have to deal with the citizens that own these businesses are probably going to shoot you too. So if you're willing to take the risk of getting shot going in there to steal, so be it. I guarantee you, the crime in the city of Philadelphia will drop dramatically. Why? See, they trying to paint the picture like crime is dropping in the city of Philadelphia. And I'm telling y'all right now, I read the story, I know exactly what they're doing, and they're hiding it under bullcrap. The city of Philadelphia is still have a extreme number of crime going on. It's just nobody's calling the police because they're not coming. And a lot of times the police don't show up when they're happening. And that's why it's not getting reported. So don't overlook at the reports. These reports that they say crime is down, crime is down. No, it's just not getting reported. Crime is up in the city of Philadelphia just like it is in all these other states and these cities where Democrats run. What they're doing is they're finding slick ways to not report it. That's all they're doing. And they're making it public information, but they're hiding it in places where people are not really looking and paying attention to it. Oh, this is what they're doing to try to make things better. No, but this is what they're doing to try to hide crime. So it looked like they're doing the job that they're not doing. But if you did that and said what I said as a mayor of the city of Philadelphia, watch our crime go down. Because now you are supporting the law-abiding citizens, the businesses, the homeowners, and the people that actually thrive, make your city thrive. Instead of supporting criminals, drug addicts, and everybody else that don't have they offer no contribution to the better of their community. But yet they will still keep supporting this type of behavior. But they won't do this part because it's unpopular. But I wouldn't be there to be popular. I'd be there to make sure that the citizens of the city of Philadelphia have a better, safer life. And that will be my first statement day one. And I would run on it too. If I lose, I lose. But that's what I would run on. And I guarantee you that if I was to win, and then I was to implement that, and after a while, when people start to see how the crime is going down, guess what? I would win again. And yes, they would. They will come in and it will be more jobs in the city of Philadelphia because of that reason. It is not that hard to bring crime down. And the other thing I would do is if we catch you stealing, you're going to jail and you're going to stay a long time. If you shooting out there, if you kill somebody, you will never see the streets again. Now, there is no possibility. I will fight to make sure that criminals stay away forever. Those type of criminals. I'm not talking about people that do little petty stuff. I know you got some people just mess up sometimes. I'm not being unrealistic with that. But you understand my point is that the ones that are out there that got guns and are out there robbing and carjacking and stealing and killing, they will never see the street again. But here's the thing. If somehow or another they slip through the cracks and they back out there, I guarantee you they will think 20 times before they decide to rob somebody because everybody going to have guns. And everybody going to have, all the businesses going to have guns. And they know that if I go into this business and I try to do something stupid, there's more likely I'm going to get shot. And I might not make it out of there alive. Because at that point, it'll almost feel like the same as if I go into a police station wielding a gun at policemen. Because now the citizens of Philadelphia would be the ones protecting their own business. And all the police have to do is show up and clean up the mess and find out what happened. Done deal. You make the police job off even. Now we ain't got to worry about it. We know exactly what happened. They came in there, they got the stealing, and they got some hot ones in them. But for some reason, in democratic cities, they just think that is so awful. How was that awful? That's part of the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal. And killing is thou shalt not kill. But here's the thing about killing. You have a right, even biblically, to kill. Because the Bible says it's time for it. And in that type of situation, when someone is coming to take away your life or possibly destroy your life or steal from your life, you have a right to defend that. Because you took your life and paid the price to obtain the things that you have. No one should come along and try to take that, government or anyone, if they did not work for it, if they did not earn it. That's why taxes to me is a problem sometimes. You didn't work for it, you didn't earn it, but you want to come tell me I'm supposed to pay it. Oh, I get it for taking the candy. I'm not being that extreme about it. My point is that you still should not be stealing. I'm not talking about, you coming in taking the candy bar, whatever the case may be. When I say that, what I mean is when people know that there's a good possibility that the store owners and stuff like that will possibly kill you, they're not going to just want to go in there and steal. That's the point that I was making. Yes. That's the point that I was making, is that I don't, I'm not saying, as soon as they walk in the store, you catch stuff. No, I mean, you got to discern what is important to you and what is not. Somebody taking a candy bar and you shooting for a candy bar, that's wrong. But usually if a person comes in there and stealing a candy bar, they're not coming in with a gun to do it. But somebody comes into your store with a gun trying to rob you. If someone comes in, you wouldn't go to that store, but I'm going to be honest with you, I would have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with going to a store where guns owners at. I love going to the store. That's why I go into gun stores, because they gun owners in there. Because most of the people that I know are gun owners, 99% of the gun owners are not violent people. Now, it's the ones that go find slick ways to obtain firearms are usually the ones you have to worry about. If I go into a store, and I'm going to tell you, most stores probably do have guns, you just don't realize they have them. But if I go into a store and there's a gun owner in there and they have firearms, I think nothing of it. Because I know most people, they got a business, they got a livelihood. They're not trying to mess up their livelihood over a dumb mistake. Now, there's some rare cases where they might, but in most cases, they're not there trying to just mess up their livelihood by making a dumb mistake of, shooting somebody over something petty. But if you come in my store and you trying to rob me and take what's in my register and stuff, yeah, they will tell you. Oh, no, I agree with that. That don't qualify anybody to own a gun. But I'm be honest with you, guns ain't that hard. That's why I always tell people, make sure you get trained. Make sure you know how to use it and make sure you're efficient with it. Yeah, you can pay for security, but why pay for something when you can be your own? Like, I'm not debating that with you, but here's the thing. I got firearms. I have no intentions of hurting nobody. Don't even think about it. There's not the thought of it don't even cross my mind. It really doesn't. I never think about, today I should shoot somebody. None of those type of thoughts go through my mind. The only thing I think about is, hopefully nothing ever happens where I ever had to use this thing for any other reason, any reason at all. That's the only thing that runs through my mind. I pray that I never have to use a firearm to hurt anyone at any other time ever. That's my mindset. And most gun owners, honest everyday gun owners, think that way. They're not thinking about who they can hurt. They're not worried about that. And if you own a business and you went in whatever way you had to get your business and start your business and own your business and run your business, and then you turn around and someone keeps coming in there and robbing and stealing in your business, and there is no one doing anything, eventually you're going to be out of business. Is that okay? Eventually they're going to steal you out of business. So how long are you supposed to allow them to keep getting away with stealing from you before you decide to do something about it? Because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people don't realize this. Everybody pays for theft. Everybody. If I go into the store and keep stealing, my whole community is paying for that. Yeah, I mean, I get the point if they're not comfortable with that, whatever case may be, but you got to pay for security. Now, what happens if a store owner has to pay for security, that's another payroll for the store owner. Excuse me. That's another payroll for the store owner. So this is what I mean by everybody pays for theft. So now I have to pay this person to monitor my store with a firearm Where am I going to get that money from? That means I have to raise the prices of the product that I sell to the community in order to keep the pay of the person that I'm using to patrol my store. Now we all paying for that. And this is what I mean by everybody pays for theft. This is the reason why a lot of times with businesses and those type of communities don't last long. Because everybody thinks in those communities a lot of times think it's okay to steal and take and steal. And what ends up happening is they either have to raise the prices to offset the theft, or they have to raise the prices to offset the theft. And now the people are being squeezed more money out of for the services and goods that they need. Which again, everybody pays for theft. You just don't realize you're paying for it. Maybe you don't see it that way, but that's exactly how it works. Because if someone steals one thing from me for $10, and let's just say my profit margin on that is only 30%. Now I got to sell probably another 5 to 6 of those items in order to try to recap the theft that was taken from the item that was stolen. And then I got to start raising prices on the community, who in most cases, a lot of business don't want to raise up prices. They want to make sure they're making enough money to keep their business afloat and take care of their family at home and keep the community engaged in their store so that they can continue business on. Most businesses don't want to have to do that, but they're forced to do it because people think it's okay to steal. And it's not. Everybody pays for that. And if you know anything about business, that's what happens. That's why businesses and the cities, those places, end up leaving and getting out of there. Or they locking everything up to try to prevent people from stealing the items, which now makes everybody else feel like they're a criminal going into the store because they got to unlock everything to get you what you want out of there. And again, all of that stuff that they had to pay to secure their product cost them money. And how it ends up happening is because everybody else think it's okay to steal. Other people think it's okay to steal. And then they'll go back around the neighborhood and try to sell these things to other people in the neighborhood. And other people in the neighborhood know they stole it, but they'll still buy it. Oh, I'm getting a deal. No, what you're doing is you're supporting theft. You're supporting theft. And even though you think you're getting it cheap now, if they're stealing from the community and they're stealing from somebody, everybody else is paying for it. We all pay for it. We just don't realize we're paying for it. But if people start stealing and actually start paying for the items, and these companies that they do have businesses and stores and stuff, they can actually make a profit, don't have to keep raising prices. You go out to a community to make purchase item in the area where it's not high crime and not high theft, watch how different you see the prices are. Watch how lower the prices are. And a lot of times when black people are going to say, oh, this is racist. No, it's not. It's not racist. What it is they don't have thieves like we do. They don't have crooks like we do. So therefore, they can afford to sell the product cheaper because ain't nobody stealing it like we do. Wow. Yeah, like I said, I'm not okay with that. I'm sorry, I'm not okay with it. And I just think no one should be stealing from nobody. And we all pay for it. We all pay for it. And we don't realize we're paying for it, but we all pay for it. And that's why I say the right to keep and bear arms is the Second Amendment says it shall not be infringed. And we should never let any politician try to infringe on our right to keep bear arms. And that's the truth of the matter. And that's the truth of the matter. And my thing is this, is that, yeah, in the hood, we don't like to snitch and we don't like to tell. But a lot of times, and I understand why. Don't get me wrong. I understand why we don't like to tell, because there's a other side of that reason why we don't like to tell, because then the police is telling who told what said, and then now you subject to whatever they done told. Police done told this person that this is the people where they got the information from, and now you subject to them trying to come back to get to you retaliating wise because they say you a snitch. So I kind of get that, and that's one of the things we need to fix. But the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, and we need to make sure that no one is infringing on, no politician should ever infringe on your right to keep and bear arms. And that's the truth of the matter. I appreciate everybody that was on this live. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification bell. That way you get notified anytime I put out a video. I honestly appreciate everybody on this live. Appreciate the conversation. I was having a wonderful time going back and forth, talking about what it is. And this is how we make America great again, by being able to dialogue, talk, give our viewpoints on stuff like that, and educate each other on a better America. And like I always say at the end of my videos, that if you don't have Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, please get to know him. He is a life changer. And with that said, y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. And I'm out of here. Peace.